Hey, what is up guys? Epic Pokemon TCG here, and today guys I have a deck profile for you, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Yveltal Garbodor with Tauros splashed into it. I'll probably title it really weird, but the list will be down in the description below so you guys can go check it out. But this is actually a pretty cool deck, and one that I was really excited to build because I just really like Tauros. I think Tauros GX is actually a really sick card. But we're going to go ahead and get into it here guys. 3 Yveltal EX. Of course, that's Evil Ball, 20 plus 20 for each energy attached to both the defending Pokemon. And then Wide Cyclone for 90, and then you move an energy attached to Yveltal to one of your bench Pokemon. This has been good pretty much ever since it's come out for the most part. I mean, it's just a really solid Pokemon. It does a lot of damage, and then its second attack can conserve energy. And with cards like Max Elixir and Fighting Fury Belt, it just becomes a lot better. But one of the new Pokemon we're going to be putting in here is going to be Tauros GX. Now, Tauros GX, of course, has Rage, 20 plus 10 more for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Horn Attack for 60, and then Mad Bull GX, which is going to be your GX attack for the deck. 30 times the number of damage counters on this Pokemon. Yep. So basically, Tauros is going to be doing a ton of damage, and one of the best things about Tauros is all three attacks take a single DC, so put one of these on there, you're good to go. Now, this deck is really good because it utilizes Ninja Boy and basically opens up a lot of plays. Another attacker that you're going to be putting in here is going to be Yveltal with Fright. That's just a really solid Pokemon because it has 130 HP, it's a basic, and then of course Pitch Black Spear, 60 and then 60 to a Pokemon EX. Along with that, Fright disables all abilities like on tools, and so Float Stones, Fighting Fury Belts, Spirit Links, Bursting Balloons, you name it, all those tools don't have any effects. So that's really good. And the cool thing about Pitch Black Spear is you can kind of just sit there and soften up Pokemon, and really these Pokemon like just open up a lot of different plays. If you have an Yveltal EX active, but you need the Fright Yveltal, of course you get a Ninja Boy into that if it's in your deck, and then basically you can surprise your opponent. If you have Tauros on the field, you can Ninja Boy into an Yveltal, or you can Ninja Boy into a Tauros if you have an extremely heavily damaged Yveltal on your field. And basically, if your Yveltal just took a gigantic hit, you can switch into Tauros and then just pretty much retaliate with a bunch of huge amount of damage, which is really good. That's one of the reasons why I like this deck. I always like those decks that do a lot of damage. That's just how I've always been. This is right up my alley. I played big basics for a very long time, and so that's what this deck really reminds me of. But we're also going to pair this up with Garbodor. Along with the heavy damage, we're just going to kind of take away abilities. This is one of those decks that doesn't really rely on abilities, and so Garbodor is kind of an obvious choice to put in here. This is going to be taking away Shaymin's setup. It's going to be taking away Hoopa's Scoundrel Ring. It's going to be removing Giratina's ability, which doesn't really matter. It's going to be taking away a lot of abilities in Mega Gardevoir. And I'm trying to think what else really, like pretty much just anything ability wise is just taken away, and that's why Garbodor is really good. Garbotoxin, as long as you have as long as you have a tool on Garbodor, you're just taking away abilities, and that's really awesome. But we're also going to play 2 Shaymin for setup. This is just in here for consistency reasons to help you kind of go through your deck a little faster. And now we're going to get into the supporters here. Of course, we have 4 Sycamore. That's what I'm comfortable with. That's what I play every single deck. And then we have 3 N. Originally I was playing 2 N, 1 Lily, but I decided just to go for the straight 3 N. 2 Lysandre, and then of course we have the Ninja Boy, which opens up all the plays, being able to switch into different things and go from there. Now what I like about this deck is that a lot of times you're going to find that a lot of lists are very similar. Some lists might play 3 Max Elixir, some lists may play 4. The energy might be different. They might go for different strategies and stuff like that. And that's what I really like about this. I opted for just a straight to the point list. You can of course tech it out. This is more of a starting list, and you can kind of go from there. But for the supporters, we also have VS Seeker to get those back and open up more plays for Ninja Boy, of course. So that way you just keep doing it over and over, basically. 4 Ultra Ball just to help you search out your Pokemon. And then we have 4 Max Elixir. This will just allow you to have a little bit of energy acceleration, get some energy onto your Pokemon a little faster, and give you the potential turn 1 Yveltal, basically, which is really awesome. Or turn 1 Tauros. It's really cool. Probably the most important tool in this entire deck aside from the Float Stone, but you guys get what I mean. It's probably Fighting Fury Belt, and what that's going to do is basically it's going to make these Pokemon a lot bulkier, and it's really going to add to what Tauros can do. So when you put a Fighting Fury Belt on Tauros, it becomes a 220 HP Pokemon that does more damage the more damage it has on it. So you got a big gigantic tank Pokemon basically that's taking a lot of hits. You're just going to be dishing out more damage as time goes on. And then Yveltal, of course, becomes a tank that can also do a lot of damage, and if it can just sit here and take multiple hits, you can kind of just charge it up, and you can be a big nuisance. That's why I think Fighting Fury Belt's just really good with this deck, and definitely a combo with Tauros that is probably one of my favorites right now, because you just do so much damage, and it's absolutely insane. So yeah, in my opinion, Fighting Fury Belt probably is the most important tool in this whole deck. And then, of course, we have the 3 Float Stone just to throw on your Garbodor or just give your Pokemon free retreat. And this will also help you get those turn 1 Max Elixir plays off. Just attach a Float Stone to your active and then start using Max Elixir and then retreat that sucker and start attacking. 2, Enhanced Hammer, because Energy Disruption is just really good. Energy Disruption is really good too, along with Yveltal. Because if you're taking away abilities, you're like kind of messing with their energy a little bit, and you're doing a lot of damage. Because when you think about it, your opponent doesn't really have to have energy on their Pokemon for you to do a ton of damage, because Yveltal just does that much on its own. Yes, it does help, but if you're able to get those key, cards, like for instance, if you were to Enhanced Hammer off like maybe a Double Dragon Energy off of Giratina, so they can't use their Chaos Will attack, so you can start attaching your DCEs freely, or you can just kind of discard another DC and maybe an upcoming attacker, just whatever the situation might call for. Enhanced Hammer can help you out a bunch there. Next up, 2 Trainer's Mail. I originally had 3 in here, but I took it out. Actually, I was originally running 2 Float Stone, but I took out the 3rd Trainer's Mail and added a 3rd Float Stone because I felt like that was just a little better thing to do. But basically, Trainer's Mail is just going to help you fetch out some stuff out of your deck that you might need. 1 Super Rod. I really like Super Rod because it just, if your matchup really relies on you having Garbodor, so you can get it out more times. And then along with that, late game, I like having Super Rod in case you have a couple trainers, or not trainers, but Max Elixirs left over in your deck. It can add just energy back into your deck, so you have a higher chance of hitting those. So that's really good. Super Rod's just one of my go-to personal preference trainers, I guess. Next up we have, why is there children outside screaming? Bad kid. No, bad kid. I shouldn't sit up here and yell at other people's children. Anyway, we have 2 Parallel City. I like Parallel City because, of course, you can get rid of your own Shaymin, so they don't become liabilities. It is also a counter stadium. And then along with that, you can also really limit your opponent's bench and take away, just them being able to have explosive turns. Also, this helps greatly, I mean greatly, against Mega Gardevoir. If they don't have a counter stadium at the time and you lower them for being able to do as least damage as possible, it's really good. And then before we get to the energy, I do want to note that I have seen people run a split, or actually add, just in general, add the Mewtwo from Evolutions. I've seen that in a few lists. I'm not going to lie, I did look at a few lists before I built this deck, just to get a general idea of how people are playing this in the tournament format. And I found that a lot of lists look very... What's my dad whistling? Anyway, I found that a lot of lists are very similar. And so if this looks like someone else's list, chances are that their list is going to look like someone else's, and so on and so forth. But I heard that the Mewtwo from Evolutions is actually a really good card to have against Espeon GX and Mega Mewtwo. So that's really cool. And next up, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 Dark and then 4 DC. Yeah, just based off what I've been seeing from multiple lists, I've kind of took my own approach on it. This is why I don't record with my window open. Anyway, just from what I've taken from a lot of different lists, this is mostly what people are kind of going for, like the general basis of the deck. I went for more of a changeable starting list. But the strategy is very simple. Of course, you have Ninja Boy to open up many plays in your deck. You can do a lot of different things. You can Ninja Boy into different attackers at different times. And Tauros. Tauros is just a Pokemon that, for 1 energy attachment, basically, you can do a ton of damage, and that's really what Yveltal is all about, doing a lot of damage and just pressuring your opponent as much as possible. And then that's about it. I mean, the strategy is basically a typical Yveltal deck with Tauros splashed in. Tauros is just good. I like it. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, subscribe for some more content, and this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. Take care, guys.